I know it's very early. Well, very early. What time is it? 9:37 in the morning. People are getting ready to go to church. People are going, they're getting ready to do whatever they're doing. Morning, Brad. Morning, Bernice. I'm going to be saving this video because it's important. It's probably one of the most important live feeds I'll ever do. And it's very accurate. Because thanks to people like Claudio Marti and others from the 9/11 Truth Movement, I've learned how to focus on truth and not opinion. Truth and not opinion. So I have a little lashing to do this morning. Not because I'm perfect, quite the opposite, but because I feel it's necessary. Okay, so where do we start? Last night, I'm going to turn the camera around because I want everybody to see this. Last night, I came across this post right here. If everybody can see it, I hope they can. Oh, I'll just turn the camera around. Hang on. There we go. Okay, it's a post of doves making their nest in cannons. Okay, look what it says up here. When would the voice of guns stop in my home, Yemen, and the peace dove make a nest in the cannon nozzle? I'm so freaking nervous right now, I can't even speak. And I said to myself, wow, you know what? That deserves to be talked about either on global news updates, on my updates that I do, or on here. And then I thought, oh, go live. I automatically thought, go live. And there's another post also. Everything was feeding everything else. There's a post of young kids looking at their iPhones, and then there's a post of everybody on Wall Street or everybody in three-piece suit and ties sitting there looking at their screens. And the meme says people will not revolt. They will not look up from their screens long enough to notice what's going on. So I said to myself, okay, guess whose job it is to bring this all home. And then right after that, I got hit on this meme that says, as you evolve, you will make a lot of people uncomfortable. Evolve anyway. Okay. So then this morning I wake up and I got really angry. I got really angry at Ahmed's post, the guy in Yemen. And this is for him. Ahmed Nusfalil. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Nusfalil. This post goes to him, and I'm going to read what I wrote. Yes, it's on my wall, but I want to read it out loud so that everybody can hear it, okay? Because it's time we wake up, and it's time that we know what's going on, and we face the music, so to speak. I've been doing global news updates for the Liberty Beacon for quite a while now. I'm in touch with the front, as you could call it. People that have been 30 years in the military. People that have 4-star generals as their friends. People that are on the phone every day with Julian Assange, right? These are the people I'm dealing with right now and I'm working with to do the shows that I'm doing. So I said to myself, you know what? This is pretty important because it has to be said before I get knocked off the air if I ever do. Okay, so I'm going to start reading this, and people, if they want to, they can read along, or they can simply shut me off or delete me if they want. Doesn't bother me one bit. I'm offering this post this morning to Ahmed Nusfalil and to all the countries across the globe that we have destroyed, maimed, raped, abused, controlled, deceived, burned through bombs and fire, murdered, tortured, and genocided. Many will not like my post. Ask me if I care. Many people will not agree. Ask me if I care. Many people will just do what they want, and that's fine. Ahmed, it's good to have you along. The fact is, government, if you look at what the word government means, it means control of the mind, okay? Government works in natural law as parents do, and the population turn out to be their children. And we in America, America meaning the love of riches, are doing exactly, we're living exactly how our parents are acting. Look around you. People go 30 miles across town to visit friends, but they don't even know who lives next door. We are impersonal, we're deceivers, we're incapable of love or truth. All we do is judge, because it's easier to judge than to think about what we do. So, you know, it's easier to judge than to think about what we do, what we say, and how we act, right? So it's a lot harder to think. So we judge other people. Look at this image that I have. It's a picture of the globe with. I'll show everybody if they want to see it. It's a picture of the globe, and it's very important because you'll know what I'm talking about right away. This is the globe I'm talking about. Okay. Sorry if the camera's shaking, but this is very important. Okay, just look at that image, and you can go on my wall to see it. It's an image of fire and ice. No balance, no middle, no health, no justice, no integrity, no understanding, no tolerance. Our government has taught us well. First on my list this morning are the apples. That's right, the Indians that are apples. And my explanation of that is that they're red on the outside and white on the inside. Hypocrites and sellouts who have been Christianized, assimilated, and taught how to play the game. With their federally recognized tribes, they decide who they like and who they don't like. They decide who they give the money to. They decide who gets and who goes without. Get the picture, right? Now fast forward to today. This same entity has genocided all integrity, all passion, all emotion, all traditional honor that once was, and turned it into its polar opposite. What we have today is apathy, insensitivity, hate, division, greed, and fame-seeking morons ready to sell out their mother if need be. Why? Because that is how they are taught today. And this is precisely the agenda on the menu. Depopulation, vaccines, police state, martial law, control, abuse, torture, the Phoenix program. Welcome to America, folks. This is what we do. So I suppose it doesn't surprise me when I go to a bar as a designated driver and I see a beautiful woman getting slapped across the face so hard by her man that she drops to the floor in tears. So it doesn't surprise me when I see an older man that has trouble with carrying his bags walking out of Walmart, right? And having the younger crowd in front of him slam the door in his face and laughing about it afterwards when they go through it, you know, and to think of what they just did was really cool, and they high-five one another. Welcome to America. America, by the way, means the love of riches. Welcome to ice cold and burning hot, where fewer and fewer of us know balance, know love, know compassion, know the beauty of the simple things, know how to meditate and get in touch with that sacred place that we are or that we should be. As the meme says on Facebook, I have absolutely no desire to fit in. No, and I'm getting sicker as the days go by because all I can do is watch. I watch as all my relations tear each other apart. I watch as we drop bombs on other countries without a care. Watch as more and more people know about 9/11, but who cares? I watch as I learn more and more about my country and how and where how it was founded, and it seems I'm in this very, very small minority of people who even give a shit. I watch as we kill 30 million people worldwide in 50 countries. And, well, that's life, right? Or they deserve it. That's another good one. Well, you know, we're fighting for our freedom, right? I don't know, whatever. Well, exactly, whatever is right. Go back to sleep, like they say. You know, don't even bother asking questions. Do like everyone else. Who cares, right? All these actions above that I just mentioned are exactly what our government wants from us because, first of all, no one really wants to do their homework. They don't want to learn to be uncomfortable or sacrifice a little bit or get out of their comfort zone or be a part of the change that's needed. They have all of us looking at our phones and screens and counting our money as we proudly act like nothing is touching us at all. Well, surprise to these people because they have something coming to them. Wakey wakey, folks. This plan is all engineered and they're all laughing at us. all the time. They're laughing at us as they plan our own destruction. Actually, we're enabling it. Does that sound familiar? They know exactly what they're doing. Putting the steak in front of the dog as his house is burned on fire, you know, in back of him. Oh, well, wait till he finishes his meal. A different story then will await him, right? Yes, I will finish this ugly rant, yes. This is for Ahmed Nusfalial, for all the Muslims, for all the minorities, even in this country, who are ravaged by drugs. And guess what? That was planted by the most, by the CIA in the most vulnerable communities and minority districts, by that same CIA who did 9/11, and that is ravaging and destroying all countries across the globe. But don't worry about it. It's not touching you yet, so go back to sleep, right? I find it very appropriate to end with this apology again, one that was made by a veteran, one who has the balls to say something that, we don't want to hear, a certain Ken O'Keefe, who announced in his film on 9/11, and, the trigger and bomb-happy criminal thugs of our government were exposed. So here it is again, and if people don't like it, they can just delete it. It doesn't matter, or even delete me, and I'll wave as you go away, right? To all the Muslims around the world, very quickly, I want to issue a huge apology, speaking of 9/11, to a group of which I'm not a member. If there is one group that cannot be held responsible for 9/11, the event, it is that very group blamed for this crime, and that would be the Muslims around the world. So let me say with resounding clarity on behalf of all sane thinking people, we are deeply sorry that Muslims have been falsely accused of the events of 9/11, and that subsequently countless Muslim lands and people have endured the farcical war on terror. Really quickly, have you ever noticed that? Wesley Clark comes out and says that we're going to bomb 7 countries in the next 5 years, and the superiors go, I don't know why. Are we attacking Iraq? I don't know. It's worse than that. We're going to take out 7 countries in the next 5 years. Well, this is what the agenda is, right? For the Rothschilds, for the Rockefellers, for the very, very rich elite, the very small minority. Again, getting back to the apology, I'm sorry. We apologize for the invasions, occupations, drone strikes, torture, Guantanamo, for all the maiming and the death that has rained down on you. Let it be understood that from this day forward, from this non-Muslim, that we know that the 9/11 false flag was intentionally, falsely blamed on you as to cultivate a clash of civilizations, because they basically want us to hate each other and war on each other. So it's easier to disperse us. It's easier to divide us. We reject the war on terror in total and shall identify those responsible come hell or high water. That was from Kevin, I keep saying Kevin, that was Ken O'Keefe's Who Did It and Why, and that's on YouTube. So yes, David, it is from the heart, and it's very nerve-wracking, but it's really important to, put the blame where it's supposed to be. Because Tom, Dick, and Harry, even if they do have guns in their possession, they're not going to go blow up a nightclub. They're not going to do all these insane things that have been happening. Well, guess what? This is what our CIA does. They're behind Sandy Hook, San Bernardino, you name it, Waco, Boston bombing, 9/11. Both world wars were funded on both sides by the elite. They're having fun. It's like a chess game from Europe. Who cares, right? So, okay, so that means that they don't care about us either. Well, when people wake up to that fact, then they might want to listen to our show called Global News Update. And no, that's not a plug for my show either. But if you want to know the truth, if you want to know the real truth and nothing but the truth, so help you, Creator, then please tune in, get active, listen to this again and write down the bullet points. I have a little piece of paper on my desk that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Okay? There's a reason why you were watching this morning. There's a reason why we go through things that we go through in our life. It's time to wake up. That's why I call that little piece Wakey Wakey. So, as my blood pressure goes down from the stroke level, I wanted to thank everybody for listening on Sunday morning. And do like me. Get out of your comfort zone. Do something hard. You know, give yourself shit. You know, smack yourself upside the head. Open the door for your neighbor. Go outside and find out who lives next door rather than going 30 miles across town to visit relatives. You know, start caring about one another. And if we do, you know that meme about the elites playing chess on the table and we're all sitting there hovered over holding up the table? All we have to do is get up and their game is over. All we have to do is get up and stand strong together and their game is over. And I think they're getting terrified of that, and that's why they want to regulate the internet. So before they do that, it would be really cool to get together and do something massive. So civil disobedience, I guess it's called. But everything out of the ordinary and everything against government now is featured terrorism. That's the word, right? So we're not even going to be able to do any protests. Oh, by the way, the event is right here, let's say, okay? They have a place for protesters 10 miles down the road, right? So they don't bother anybody. It's all figured out. It's all planned. It's all engineered. And we're the little sheep that are going along. So do you want to be a sheep, or do you want to, you know, be those that are engineering and that are pushing the world where it's supposed to go? Every single one of us has that little sliver of a chance to do something about it. Just like me, live right now. Imagine if everybody went live and started talking like this right now. It's not about me. It's not about fame or fortune. It's about us right now. It's about everybody. It's about what's going to happen to us if we don't wake up. So before I start another rant, I'll let everybody go and join my page, say hello, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.